probably wasn't going to participate if I brought her here. So this
Charlie.
is TC, one of our female Harris's hawks that we used to hunt with, and we make money with them too. They're desert birds, indigenous to the southwest of North America, Arizona, New Mexico, West Texas, and New Mexico. They're the only species of hawk that are gregarious naturally. They live in family groups together. They hunt together. And so that's one of the great things about them that we love is that I can take other Harris's hawks and fly them at the same time. And so we can catch bigger game like jackrabbits and ducks and sometimes geese and stuff like that. Not domesticated geese, unfortunately.
Was that gang up on a single animal?
I got one you can get rid of.
Yeah, you can catch Nemo. He's a dick.
Yeah, they'll gang up on them. They'll all be.
Tame Nemo?
The meanest one.
You can find them?
Oh, I tamed them all.
I knew it.
We also use these birds to make money. And that's one of the great parts of it.
Cool like Robert?
Maybe, on the chest.
On the chest. Cool.
A couple weeks ago, we got a call from this couple down in downtown Dallas, really rich neighborhood called University Park. And so, apparently there are these ducks roosting in this huge live oak tree, crapping on this guy's BMW.
Oh.
Horrible thing. Poor Beamer, right? So they only show up at night, right? Because they're roosting. So, and we can get those. We have these hawks that hunt at night, and so turn out to be Muscovy ducks. So we go up there at night, and we had our little flashlights and shine them up in the tree. And I had my bird on the fist, and my employer had his bird, and his bird is more. She's hunted at night a lot more, so I shined the light up there, and she looked for a little bit, and she flew over to an adjacent branch. Kept it on there and moved it a little bit, and so she got her bearing. Like, okay, I'm supposed to attack that big duck thing right there. So she flew in, nailed it off the tree. They came tumbling down, and she's got this thing by the ass, and they're flying around. And so I reach in there and grab this duck, and then the other ones had taken off, and so I took my bird, and my bird eventually caught the big, huge drake, and now those ducks are a happy couple out at permaculture classroom, Nick Ferguson's place, and they're just as tame as can be.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I would have just put feed on that Beamer and left. Said, yeah, you got it.
You got it. You're good.
so you transported them out there?
Yep.
To his place in
Yep. Mine.
Louisiana?
The man who owns this company lives out in Shreveport, and so Nick was coming down from Illinois, and so they met him in Shreveport.
Great.
And now they're living out their happy lives, and I thought, oh yeah, man, let's kill some ducks, you know. But I mean, these are only like 1 pound birds, and it's like a 7 pound drake and probably a 6 pound hen.
That's a 1 pound bird.
Yeah, she weighs about 890 grams. I don't know how that
Talk
translates.
about how important that is, Chris, that you control their weight.
Oh, okay. Well, the weight control is everything. You know, if they're too heavy, they're not going to want to hunt. They could really care less about you. And if they're too light, they're going to be starving, and they won't be able to fly because they're so, you know, they have no energy. And so, the smaller the bird, the tighter, the more finite the weight control has to be. But with these birds, they have about a 10 to 20 gram window.
2 pounds.
What's that?
2 pounds.
Is it?
No, 190 grams is 6 ounces. 30 grams now. Yeah.
890.
Oh, I said 190.
890. Now Scarlet, my bird, weighs 1,000 grams, so she's a little bit bigger than this bird. She's probably our bigger bird, biggest bird. But these birds probably have
28.
She's got about a 10 gram window on either side of 890 that she flies best at. Scarlet, my bird that flies at 1,000, she probably has a 20 gram on either side, so a 40 gram total window that she can fly at very well. You know, they go heavier than that, they're just going to fly up to a tree and take a nap. You know, if they go lighter than that, they're going to sit frantic, you know, like, okay, I got to eat now. I'm starving.
So they basically won't take any risks in their hunting. They want to.
And then they would rather catch a rat than
Yeah.
something like a rabbit, which is what we're going after, or a squirrel.
What other animals do you have? Birds?
We
You
have
have an
9.
eagle owl.
Yeah, he's in Shreveport right now filming a TV show
He's
coming out
awesome,
called like
guys.
something about the Salem witch trials, and they might have just signed him for like a 5-season deal. Yeah,
If you Google eagle owl and hit the images, they're
huge.
and they're just the eyes are
I've got pictures.
They're like blaze orange.
yeah.
He's about this big, and he's got about a 5-foot wingspan. Otherwise, I would have brought him. I brought him to the last workshop. Sorry, guys. He's a busy owl.
He looks like a giant great horned owl with orange eyes.
Oh, here he is.
If he gets signed, do you make some money on that?
What's that?
Do you make some money on that? Or is it
If I'm flying them, then yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool.
I've flown him for a National Geographic flick that's coming out end of this year, I think. We did that 2 years ago, and so yeah, I got paid for that. But like, he's making like, he's got guaranteed 9-hour days. He's made like $6,000 off of it in a week already.
Damn.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And if they sign him for 5 seasons, I'm talking about a moneymaker.
Hey. Can you
Yeah.
talk about how you use your lure to control them and stuff?
Yeah, so, I mean, they come to the fist for tidbits, but as far as what the lure is concerned, it's a little bit different than falcons, what I was talking about before. This is, I can't show her because she'll freak out and want it. This is our lure.
Hey, over here.
Oh,
She's
see? What is that? See that?
Hey, what are you doing?
So this is our lure. We tie a piece of meat to it, and we use it as an insurance policy. What I did for the, at the end of every hunt, okay, so my bird's Scarlet. She was a brand new bird in September, and so it's starting from scratch. If you ever get involved in falconry, starting from scratch is like one of the best feelings. It's like, yeah, new bird, you know, you can do everything different because you're always getting better. And so at the end of every single hunt, regardless if she caught nothing or like 5 rabbits, I would give her some meat on the lure. I'd throw out the lure, she'd catch it, get meat on it every single time, every hunt. So she recognizes that the lure means I get instant food. And so if we're out west somewhere and we're hunting where there's eagles, if an eagle starts coming in on the bird, we throw the lure out, throw it down. Yeah, sorry, Jack.
Hey man, shoot the floor. I'm good.
Sure, we
That looks
scrap.
like a job for an intern.
So we threw the lure. Sure, we botched a hunt, but it's better than a dead bird, you know.
You got a couple weeks left.
Or the big thing around everywhere is transformers, like Optimus Prime coming in. No, I'm talking about the telephone poles. You know, they can fly up there, and lots of birds are lost every year to transformers. And so if you see them flying up to a transfer, you just whistle and start swinging the lure, and they just turn right around and come into that lure.
When's the article coming out on Bird Freedom?
Soon. I've done hunting. I mean, actually, I think I have one hunt to do this weekend. And then I'm probably putting my birds up for the molt. She's going up for the molt. My boss has a nice big flight chamber in Shreveport that she'll go to, so she can molt out and keep her flight muscles.
Do you feed them? You feed them a lot more when they're molting.
Yep. Molting out and growing out new feathers takes a lot of energy, and they don't molt out in the winter days. Harris hawks have a particularly quick molt as far as birds are concerned. They take about 3 months to molt out all their feathers. And so you feed them up, you get them fat, you don't really associate with them, you just kind of walk in, throw the food and leave, because you want them to be as calm as possible so they don't get any stress marks.
Can you tell about how you get started, catch a bird, and so on and so forth?
Sure. Wait, like, started?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing you need to do is find...
I think you need to leave. Let's go. Look at
she's
this
not
ear.
as
He's like, what the
accepting of
fuck?
dogs.
This ear's just
So-
not like, God damn,
So
I didn't do anything.
when I was talking about starting over with the new bird, one of the things
He's
I
good,
did
he's
with
good.
Scarlet is that I introduced her to as many crazy things as possible. So she couldn't care less about my roommate's 180-pound English Mastiff. If it walks right up to her and smells her feet, she doesn't care.
And she didn't do that to Charlie either.
Never. TC is from the owner of this company. She lives over there, and he has one dog, so she's just used to that dog and none others. not cats. She kind of wants to eat cats because they're small, you know. She thinks she can take them. See, she wants to bite me. She's not as tame as the rest of the birds because she's kind of been on the back burner. But first thing you got to do is, when trying to start out with falconry, is find a sponsor, which is a general or master falconer. To sponsor you, you become their apprentice, and they teach you the ways of falconry, and you get to scrub the shit off the floors and clean the views.
Sounds like an intern job.
Sounds like
a job
It
for the
is.
guy who brought the bird to shit all over the floor.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is Sue is cleaning the shit up.
Yeah, I was down in Waco this past weekend, and we had an apprentice with us. Oh man, we went bow fishing, and he was carrying the spears and the bow. It's always fun to have an apprentice around. But so you find a sponsor, right, and you start studying because there's a lot of things you got to know. You have to know husbandry, medicine, history, all the different birds, you know, silhouettes, and sizes and stuff like that. Because you have to take a state-given test. And I always say this at the events, that the federal government is now out of dealing with falconry. It's now done state by state. So, one win in that little group. After you take and pass your test, you have to build a muse, which is where the hawks hang out when you're not hunting them. It's a minimum 8x8x8 chamber where they live, kind of like an aviary that can fly around on the inside. You get that inspected by your state biologist, and then they sign off and they start pushing your paperwork through. And this whole process can take, at least the paperwork takes about 5 months on average. I got a guy who's might be wanting to be my apprentice this year, but he's dragging his feet. I'm telling him, you want to trap a bird by October, man, you got to start, you need to start stepping up your game because you got a lot of reading to do. Didn't really take me that long to do everything because I had read since I was like 6 years old, so I kind of knew everything. I guess I don't want to toot my own horn, but my grandpa's a falconer, my dad's a falconer, my uncle's a falconer, and so I'm third generation, and I would like to pass it on to my children whenever that happens. If oh gosh.
If you can find a woman that'll live with you.
I come with all these pre-existing conditions.
Anyway,
She's coming into this craziness.
what they were initially asking about. So, like your first bird,
Yeah.
you have to trap it.
Yeah.
You can't buy your first bird.
No, you cannot buy your first bird. It has to be wild trapped.
How do you trap it?
It just
With a
depends
trap?
on the bird, but a hawk trap. Oh, come on,
You
man.
jump on
Home
it when they
Depot.
land.
You get a rabbit with a big hook. You let it out in the field, and it hops around. You set your drag really loose.
I got a question.
Yeah.
You talked about the state biologist signing off on everything. Is that like fish and game? Is that
Yes, wherever you're
fish
like
wildlife?
in Texas, it's Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Okay.
Louisiana is Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. It's just whatever your department is.
Okay.
Charlie, I think she wants to fuck you up, dude.
So yeah, you have to trap your first bird from the wild, and you start out with this completely crazy wild hawk who thinks you're going to eat it and you take him. Usually in about 30 days to free flying and hunting again, and catching game over and over. And then that's when it really starts to get sweet, is when you're consistently catching game. It feels really good when you took this.
Chris, just talk about how long it takes to take a wild bird to just take off when you let it go.
It's not. Why did you put that out?
About a month.
That's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
That's pretty freaking awesome. You can take a wild
I don't
hawk
have an intern.
and in a month it'll come back to you.
So, hey, Chris,
If you put me in a cage after a month and you let me out and say, go catch a rabbit, I'd be like, yeah, fuck you, I'll be right back.
so Chris,
When you
like,
come back, I'll be right
are
back.
you within season? Do you have to hunt like rabbits within rabbit season, squirrels within squirrel season?
Yeah, except in Texas, there's no season.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you do have to follow seasons with whatever you're hunting. It's no different than hunting with a rifle or whatever.
But let's say you accidentally shot a protected animal with a gun. You have no recourse. What happens if she attacks something protected?
We have what's called the let it lie rule, which means she can catch it, kill it, and eat it, but you have to leave it in the field. Which my bird has done plenty of. She's caught like egrets and stuff like that. her first.
Seagull shit.
Are you offended he called you a seagull?
It does
Yeah.
smell like seagull shit.
I'm offended.
Max is like, whatever. Charlie's like, yeah, okay.
That's
yeah.
the bird's alarm. Because they're a social bird, you know, and so that's the call they let out when there's something wrong, and it perks everybody up like something's up.
Like my sister-in-law.
That's right.
Max, she doesn't like you at all, dude.
Is that what you do full time? The falconry, or is that?
Oh, I wish. No, I mean, it does come into play sometimes. Like, we use the Harrison Hawks to hunt pigeons in warehouses at night for companies that are having, like, pigeon issues, or, not even just in warehouses, but we had one on Webb Chapel Road, pretty big this year. There was a little, strip, little mall strip that was having those bad pigeon problems, and we go in there at night, spotlight the pigeons, and the hawks go in and fly and catch them.
Huh. No idea.
You know,
that
you
was
guys
a thing.
basically deal with any wild animal as being a problem.
But yes,
You have a skunk in your
Hey,
house,
bird.
call them. You go,
Yep.
yeah.
Nuisance wildlife.
Cat.
Anthony zebras.
Hate that son of a bitch.
Anthony zebras.
What do you do for grizzlies?
Grizzlies? Crank gun.
Probably don't have any grizzlies. Probably a lot of snake stuff.
Yeah, a lot of snake stuff. I set up my first snake.
What
account at
percentage
sea.
of them are either bull snakes or rat snakes?
About 95% of rat snakes. I caught a bull snake last week, though. I was
Did you?
excited. Yeah, it was cool.
Should've brought to me, man.
Real little. I had people already lined up. I got some people.
You get any native bulls, I'll take.
I will, man. I'm solutions. What you said. We like rider.
Rats, I have them everywhere.
Yeah,
Does she not kill everything that she picks up? I mean, how does that work? Does
Just
she,
about everything.
just about everything's dead.
Harris's hawks they're not really privy to snakes. Red tails love eating snakes. Love them. But,
Usually, if he gets a snake call, though, it's him going and like getting the snake.
yeah, like we have
Not everything he does.
snake traps to trap snakes. Yeah, I have some in the truck.
Really?
Yeah, we specially designed them ourselves. They're
It's
not
basically a place where the snake can go to hide out and he can't get out.
Yeah, where they go in there and hide, and we have a door in there, and then there's an actual snake lure. It works.
Snake all over.
Smell like a chicken egg.
I think it's got like mice here.
Rats gonna eat the shit out of the eggs, man.
So how old is she?
Yeah.
TC is coming up 3. I think she's just 3 now. Yeah.
Is there a reason why most of them are female?
What's that?
Is there a reason why most of your birds are female?
They're bigger, stronger. They're a little bit less bird brain. Like, you know, males are like they're sexually dimorphic. All birds of prey are. Females are always bigger. Yeah. So
Which is weird because that's the opposite of most birds.
exactly, yeah. Because the females have to deal with.
The baby.
Yeah. Well, actually, in that instance, the males are smaller and faster, so they can catch more little game to bring back to the nest, which means they can keep the female feeding the babies most of the day.
All right.
Yeah.
But the females have to protect the baby.
Exactly. If something was to come up on the nest, the females are bigger, stronger, much bigger feet and toes to protect the babies. And so, in like a pack of lions, in that case, the roles are reversed. The males are doing the hunting. Sometimes the females will come in to do the heavy lifting, and it's like a jackrabbit or something big like that.
So the male will actually call in the female and help them with the rabbit?
I think I haven't heard that particular call per se, but they have several different calls that they use. You guys heard the alarm call? I hate that thing because we're babysitting some people's birds right now, and they're not used to dogs. And on our household, we have 5. So, oh yeah, and they're talkative birds, and so you just hear this like in the morning, dude, right before daybreak. And they're just, oh my god, all right, time to get up.
So are you saying the bird is you trained?
What's that?
Are you saying the bird is you trained?
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised how many birds have falcons trained. Aren't non-successful ones, you know. That's the key. You have to train the bird, not the bird train.
It's been here for, I thought you were making it crazy right now.
Yeah, Charlie.
He's about to fly off and grab your face, dude.
We had one of the ones that I brought last time. when she first came into the house. I didn't have her like secure,
Yeah.
and she freaking flew off and grabbed the face of one of our English pointers.
Oh.
Like, because they're captive bred, and so they don't know they can't take a dog. You know, they've never had their ass kicked in the wild by a jackrabbit, and so they're like, oh man, I ain't taking that. I'm too small. Yeah, she's not as tame down as the other one.
Scarlet, his bird Scarlet, his personal bird, she's awesome. We'll go up to her and like pet her up under her wings, and she's just awesome. This bird